Are there such things as spiritual attacks? Hello, y'all. I'm Dianna Brianne, where I don't give advice, suggestions, information, or recommendations. I just share with you my perspective on different topics, as is with this one. I hope you like, share, subscribe to all 5 of my channels. Links are pinned at the top of the comment section below. If you connect with me with all 5, I will likely connect with you with all 5. Well, I got to thinking today about, is there such a thing as a spiritual attack? Well, I'm going to give you my perspective on this, and it really comes from Grandma herself. So I'll give you kind of Grandma's perspective. You know, I grew up reading the Bible and being taught the Bible. And from the way I understand it, yes, there can be spiritual attacks. Now, how do you know if it's a spiritual attack or if it's just a regular problem or just something, that's going on? I think that there are significant differences between regular problems or problems and spiritual attacks. And I believe that there is good and evil. I truly do believe that. Now, some people don't, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I do believe that there is good forces and bad forces. And I believe that good does not go towards bad, but bad does go towards good. It's sort of like, kind of like a magnet in a way. Bad is trying to attract the good into it to cause disharmony, chaos, and confusion. Well, I believe that spiritual attacks can happen at any level. They can happen to a person's health, finances. They can happen to relationships. They can happen to a marriage. They can happen to a family member. They can come in many, many different forms. And so how do you know if it's just not just a routine problem and a spiritual attack? Well, I believe that when things happen over and over that really don't add up and that can't go together, and it just seems like it's coming from all ends, it could be a spiritual attack. Now, I'm not saying that in all situations that it is. I believe that often when we are getting ready for our big blessing, a blessing is on its way, or a divine assignment, a divine purpose is on its way, something that is emerging that we are meant to do or be a part of. Often that is the time that the negative forces begin to attack, I believe. I'm going to give you a little example, and I've had it happen at different periods of my life. And one of the more recent things was and I've been sharing it in videos, it was like one thing after the other. Everything was going along fine in my life, and then it was one thing after the other. Started with pulling a back muscle. It started with a few other things, and things, I'm very fit, I'm very healthy, I'm out there running, walking, exercising, doing all kinds of things. So at first I kind of attributed it to, just getting older. I'm 64 years old, and sometimes body parts do wear out and we have to have them replaced. So that's not a spiritual attack, okay? And yet it was a combination of a lot of different things. I was telling you all about how I got on the freeway that night and my GPS kept telling me to go straight ahead, and I ended up at a closed highway. And how that morning my back of my molar, my crown broke off as I was trying to floss, and I had to go in and get that done. On a few days ago, I was driving to school, college, an hour and a half away, and a car and a truck. The truck pulled right directly in front of the car, and the car was totally within view of the truck. It was almost as if it was a spiritual thing going on there, and that car flipped upward and to the side and did not collide, but it was, I don't even know if it was inches away, but it swerved and it missed the truck. And I told that in another video in detail. And I believe that probably was my angel that protected me, because I was very close to those vehicles. Not real close, but close enough. And so, but I also believe that I was meant to see that, because I needed to understand what was going on. I came home, my refrigerators, I have 3 of them. They were all at the same time, and they're new refrigerators filled with food, were all unthawing at the very same time. There was no electrical outage. There was no nothing. And I knew that I had nothing to worry about, that they were going to go back on, even though the ice cream was melted, stuff was melted. I knew, and in the morning, both big refrigerators went on. The little one didn't, but I said, you know what, by the end of the day, it'll be on, and at 4 o'clock, it turned itself on. Now, I know that sounds really way out there to people that are not spiritually minded, and I got that. But I also believe in spiritual warning signs. I believe in spiritual alertness, that sometimes I believe that God lets these things happen so that we become alert. And so, do I believe in spiritual attacks? I believe that there can be. I'm not saying that every problem or every series of problems is a spiritual attack. Not at all. I don't believe that. And one thing Grandma did teach me is that spiritual attacks don't happen to people that are not living a right life, because there's no need to attack somebody who is already on the side of the negative. And so it usually happens to good people that are doing the right things, people getting ready for their blessing, people getting ready for their big divine assignment. I believe that. So, these are my beliefs, that there is such a thing as spiritual forces, good and not so good. And I believe that often the not so good will try to go against the good, but ultimately the good wins. As I always say, God is here and angels are near. So we never have anything to worry about. I believe in prayer, and I believe that prayer will protect us. And yet, when things are going chaotic and we just don't understand it, there is a possibility. I'm not saying in every situation, I'm saying, but there is a possibility that it could be a spiritual attack in my mind, okay? But remember, the solution to a spiritual attack is what? Prayer. Prayer, for me, it's prayer and fasting, but prayer. And staying in the Word of God, in my belief, okay? Well, from my house to yours, may God bless you. I do hope you like, share, subscribe. All the links are pinned to the top of the comment section below. And remember, I don't give advice, suggestions, or recommendations. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.